I'm Will Ortner. This is Chargers Now, presented by Prize Picks. On today's show, we are going to be breaking down the latest Mel Kiper Jr. mock draft because it is his final mock draft ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft. Speaking of mock drafts, make sure that you are paying attention because today we have our Chat Sports mock draft that you definitely want to check out and hang out with me and be a part of. Now, it's not going to be here on our Chargers Now channel, but I will make sure on our community that we have a link you can click and it'll take you right where you need to go. So you can be with me, producer Searle, and we're going to be able to go through who I have the Chargers picking in the first 3 rounds of the draft. If you are excited for the NFL Draft, make sure that you like today's video. It lets us know that we need to do more mock draft content. And there's a lot of mock drafts that are out in the world right now, and we definitely want to make sure that we're reacting to all of them for you. First, let's go into pick 22 and who Mel Kiper Jr. had the Chargers taking because he did not have them trading out of the first round. And the reason why he had the Chargers not trading out of the first round because he had them going after Peter Woods, the defensive tackle from Clemson. Now, this is an interesting choice, and I know a lot of you are going to say, Will, you always talk about Vega Ione. Well, unfortunately, in Mel Kiper Jr.'s draft, Vega Ione was taken literally 1 pick before the Chargers. Now, let's dive into Woods because he is a player that early on in the build-up to this draft was mocked as someone who would end up actually being a top 10 pick. Now, he has had some backslide because he has the potential to be this elite talent on the interior of a defensive line, but he really just hasn't lived up to that. He's really quick, great at getting into the backfield, is someone who doesn't get stuck on blocks. Being a sticky blocker is great for the O-lineman, horrible for the defensive line. He does a good job of getting pressures, but last year's stats were kind of disappointing for Woods after the season that he had previously with Clemson. There was a big hope that he was going to take a gigantic step forward, but unfortunately he was not able to do that. And I will be able to go through his stats here for the last couple of years, and it's important to note when we look at his career, there was a steady growth early on, but it definitely feels like he backslid a little bit last year, like a lot of that Clemson Tigers football team. It's why they were a large disappointment. It wasn't just Woods, but a lot of other guys as well. In my personal opinion, this is a 2 thumbs meh kind of move for me. Because when I look at this Chargers team, yeah, an interior defensive lineman would be someone good to go out and grab, but there's a couple reasons why I don't necessarily love them grabbing that interior defensive lineman in the NFL draft. I'll dive into that here in just a moment, but I want to let you know that today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. The playoffs are here for basketball. Baseball is underway, and it's time to cash in with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. To qualify for a Prize Picks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, and several others across all sports. If you're more of a baseball guy, you can choose stats such as hits, home runs, and strikeouts. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That includes myself and producer Searle. You follow us on Prize Picks and get the picks before they even get posted on the show. I have a lineup that's going for the basketball action. Anthony Edwards, more on his points, rebounds, and assists. Nikola Jokic, more on his points, rebounds, and assists. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. That link is going to be down in the comments and description of today's video, and you'll be able to download the app. Why I believe that this is a 2 thumbs meh type of move is because Woods, he's had a very interesting career, right? We already kind of went through it a little bit. Let's take a deeper dive on those stats for his career. When we look at a player in college, I want to see a steady growth. And I think that you saw that in the 23 to 24 season. Now, the tackle number stays the same, but where the tackles are being made grows, right? TFLs higher, more sacks, more pressures as well for Woods. When we look at the 24 to 25, I'd say there's a slight regression. Yeah, the tackles are greater, but the TFLs are lower, the sacks are lower, and the pressures, those were the worst pressures of his entire career. Now, obviously, he has the traits. He's a big, physical, bruising defensive tackle that is hard to be blocked, and he's got that innate ability to be able to bend. How often do you see big guys bend? They don't really do that. The problem is he's not consistent. So we see all of these things, but it's like a flash in the pan type of situation where it's like, wow, what a great rush there. And then you don't see it the rest of the game. That's very frustrating to me. And me personally, I wish he was more consistent. The other reason why I think this is a two thumbs mesh trade or a pick here for me is because Dexter Lawrence, that trade doesn't end up going through. Now, there is a world 100% where Peter Woods comes in, he lights the world on fire. Defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary gets him ready to go, and he ends up being just as good or maybe even better than Dexter Lawrence. But there's no guarantee of that. And right now, Dexter Lawrence has made it clear he wants out of New York. He does not want to be there anymore. He doesn't like it. He's demanding such a high price that the Giants aren't going to be able to cover it. So if they do trade him, is he willing to take maybe a little bit less money? It does sound like that is a possibility. In my opinion, Joe Hortiz should go and make the trade for the proven commodity. One, because he has the cap space to do it. And two, because you are in a win-now mode. You don't have time to see if Peter Woods is going to pan out. You want to go in and grab a guy like Lawrence right here, right now. Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you fully trust General Manager Joe Hortiz to make the correct picks in this NFL draft? Let me know yes or no down below in the comment section. I think right now I'm going to say yes, but I'm not going to have it with the stamp of approval. I'll tell you that. If producer Searle came in here with a couple of good arguments, maybe has some sources, MLA cited, comes with a bibliography, I might end up saying no. Let me know what your opinion is down below in our comment section. The next pick I actually love. Now, I'm a bit biased. You know me, big Oregon Duck fan over here, quack, quack. I love the idea that the Chargers could end up going and getting Emanuel Pregnon, the guard out of Oregon. Now, obviously, Vega Ione, he's my baby boo. I love him. I've never met him, but I do love him as a player for this Chargers team. Emanuel Pregnon is a pretty good settling pick there. That's like saying you're shooting for Sydney Sweeney, and you're like, I'm going to marry Sydney Sweeney. You don't end up getting to date Sydney Sweeney, and you go, hey, you know what? I end up having to settle for Anne Hathaway. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good marriage right there. I'm telling you, when we look at Pregnon, he's someone who is well developed. He played in college football for quite some time. Now, he bounced around to a couple different schools, but he's very physical. He's got great hands, in my personal opinion, and I don't think that he gets enough love for that. When we look at how he grades out at the top percentile. He's 88 in everything. The only thing he isn't 88 in is in his jersey number. He doesn't give up sacks. He doesn't give up pressures, and that's over at Oregon. Now, to be fair, Oregon's offense is designed to help kind of the pass pro for an offensive lineman. But at the same time, Emanuel Pregnon really flourished in that system. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. Now, he's not someone that's going to be able to bounce out to tackle if there is an injury, and that's why you've seen a couple of tackles be linked to the Los Angeles Chargers. But what he does a fantastic job of, in my personal opinion, is being a road grader. He's physical, he's mean, he's gritty. That's a Harbaugh type of a guy. When we look at that offensive line depth chart, he easily slots into that left guard position, and I think that he fits this system very well. He's fast enough to get out into space because he had to do it at Oregon, showed that he could, opening holes for the great Noah Whittington. I think that he would fit right in between Rashawn Slater and Tyler Biotish, help grow this team and really grow this roster. This is a sneaky great pick if Vega Ione is already off the board. Now, there are some mock drafts where Pregnon is all the way up at the beginning of the second round. So, Chargers fans, we are definitely going to have to keep our fingers crossed. If Vega Ione goes off the board, that Emanuel Pregnon ends up making it there. So, look, it's not a bad mock draft by Mel Kiper, but it's certainly not a mock draft that I'm going to be, going home and I'm not going to pin it on my refrigerator like, oh, I can't wait. I hope we get this. Make sure you go in the comment section and grade the final Mel Kiper mock draft as well. A, B, C, D, or F down below in the comment section. I'm giving it a solid B-. I understand the moves he made. They're in two positions of need for the Chargers. Still don't love the Peter Woods trade. Just being honest. Give the thumbs up button if you loved today's video. I hope you really enjoyed the new content that we've got going out. A lot of mock draft stuff, a lot of draft news, draft rumors. That's going to be heavy the rest of the week because we are 7 days from the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. Hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Do not miss the Chat Sports Mock Draft. I'll be doing that over on Seahawks, so you will have to click an extra link, but it'll take you right where you need to go, and you'll be able to watch me do the Chargers mock draft as well as the Seahawks mock draft, and you'll be able to see all the other Chat Sports hosts do their mock drafts as well. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Make sure that you bolt up.